Alright, since a lot of you are done with the first problem already, I'm going to do that one. So find all the multiples of 5 up to 30. So basically, we're just finding everything, like everything on the times tables of 5 up to the number 30. So we know that 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Then 5 times 3 is 15. And 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. And lastly, 5 times 6 is 30. And since 30 is the last number, you can stop there. And that would be the answer. Make sure not to skip any multiples because we need all of the multiples up to 30. And next, we're going to do all the multiples of 3 up to 24. So what I'm going to do is do the same thing like we did in the last problem. First 3, then 6, then 9. Just do everything and multiply 3 by numbers and go up until you reach the last number. So this would be the answer. And remember, don't skip any of the multiples because we need all of them. So common multiples. Basically, common multiples are the same thing as common factors, but instead of factors, you need to find multiples that two numbers share. And usually, math problems tell you to find the least common multiple, which is the lowest multiple that two numbers share. So what I'm going to do here is I have two ways of doing this. First, I can just list multiples of these two numbers. So first, I start with the biggest number because that would make this problem easier. So 15, 15 times 2 is 30, 15 times 3 is 45, 15 times 4 is 60, 15 times 5 is 75, and etc. You can list as much as you want, but you have to make sure that they reach the same number. And next we just do 9. So 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. And now we know that 45 is in both numbers. And since 45 is the lowest number that both of them share, that means 45 is the LCM. And I have another way of doing this as well. So you know that 9 and 15, we know that they are both multiples of 3. So we can divide them both by 3 and we get 3 and 5. And since the lowest common factor is 1, these two, we know that their lowest common multiple would be 15, since that would be 3 times 5, because they don't share any factors. So what we do is we multiply 3 times 5, we get 15. And since we divided everything by 3 first, we can just multiply by 3 and get 45. This is an easier way to do it if you know all your times tables. All right, so I have some practice problems for you guys. What was that? Did you want to ask a question? No, never mind. I see a lot of you are done with these problems, so I'm gonna do these for you guys now. So first we have 12 and 18. Now remember, we are not adding these. We are trying to find the lowest common multiple. And it's not going to be 1 because that's a factor, and also that's the lowest common factor, and you would usually want to find the greatest common factor. So, but we're finding the lowest common multiple here. So first we can just list the multiples. So 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, etc. And now we can list multiples of 18. So now we know that 36 is the answer, since 36 is the lowest multiple that both of them share. And while you can see that 72 is also equal, it's not the lowest one and 36 is, which means 36 is the lowest common multiple. And the other way I'm going to do this is I know 12 and 18 are both multiples of 6. So we just divide that. So we just divide that by, we just divide both of them by 6. So we get 2 and 3. And 2 times 3 is 6. And 6 times 6 is 36. So that would be the answer. So now we find the LCM of 10 and 30. And we know that 30 is a multiple of 10. So usually when one number is a multiple of another number, that means that the bigger number would be the LCM. So the answer would be 30. So multiplying whole numbers now. To multiply whole numbers, you need to multiply the numbers digit by digit. If the product of two digits is larger than 9, you need to use the units digit of it and write it in. And then you need to add the tens digit to the number on the left. It seems hard at first, but it's easy once you get used to it and memorize all the steps. So I'm going to do this practice problem. So we need to multiply 3 by all of these digits one by one. So I'm going to start with the digit on the right, which is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And next I'm going to do 0, 0, and 3 times 4 is 12. But 12 is bigger than 9. So I just write 2 here, and I'm going to add 1 here. So 3 times 3 is 9, and plus 1, that equals 10. And make sure you always add this number, the little number on the top, after you multiply. Because if you don't do that, you're going to get it wrong. And 3 times 2, and I'm adding 1 again. 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 plus 1 is 7. Answer is 70,209. All right, I'm going to do the next slide. So practice problems for you guys. I'll just wait and let you guys do these practice problems. And if you have any questions, you can ask me in the Zoom chat. Otherwise, I'll just let you guys do these. Okay, I see a lot of you are done with the first problem now. So I'm going to do the first problem for you guys. So I'm going to write it like this. 23,401 times 2. So 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 2 is 4. So this one was a pretty easy one. And the next one is actually pretty hard. So if you got it wrong, then there's nothing bad about that, since a lot of people are going to get this one wrong. So I write 64,291 times 6. First, I start off with 6 times 1, and that equals 6. Next, I do 6 times 9, and since that's a lot bigger than 9, I just use the ones digit. 6 times 9 is 54, which means we write 4 here and we add 5. We have to add 5 after doing 2 times 6. So 2 times 6 is 12, and when you add 5, it's 17. So you add 1 here. And then we do 6 times 4, which is 24, plus 1, that equals 25. 2, and 6 times 6 is 36. And we have to add 2 to 36, which means 38. So the answer is 385,746. So now we have division. And in division, you have to start with the digit on the left, which is like the opposite of multiplication. And we have to move our way to the right. If the digit is smaller than the number dividing it, you have to move to the digit on the right and make the digit on the left your tens digit. So we divide here. But let me just redraw this up here since you have more space. 24,197 and 3. This is how you write when you want to divide numbers. So 2 is less than 3. So we move to the one on the right, which is 4, and we make 2 our tens digit. So now we're doing 24 divided by 3, and we know that's 8. So I write 8 up here and subtract 24. And what's left is we do 1, since we had to move 1 right from 4. And since 1 is less than 3, we had to write 0 here. And we move on to 9, write 9 here. And the largest multiple of 3 that's less than 19 is 18. We write that here. Don't forget to do this. And we get 1, 7. And since we have this 1 left over and we're moved on to 7 now, we make that 1 our tens digit. So now we're doing 17 divided by 3. And since the highest multiple of 3 that's less than 17 is 15, we do this, we write this, and we have 2. So the answer is 8,065, and the remainder is 2. We write that as R2. And we have this little 2 on the bottom here, since we can't divide that by 3. Whatever we do, we can't divide it. All right, I have some practice problems here. Division is harder than multiplication. I think it's that way. So uh, if you get it wrong, it's not that bad. I know a lot of you are gonna get it wrong, but so it's not a bad thing. All right, since several of you are done with the first problem, I'm going to do that for you guys. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write it like this. Here, I can't end this. Okay, I'll just write it like this. So I just do this. Hold on, wait, I'm just having some problems.
You're muted.
I know I'm not saying anything. I'm just gonna do it right now. So 23,536. I'm using my computer now, so it's gonna be a lot sloppier. 3. So what we do now is we use 2 first. And since 2 is less than 3, we just move on to 3. And we make 2. We just make 2 the tens digit. So 21 is the highest multiple that's less than 23. So we just write 7 here because 7 times 3 is 21. Subtract 21. Now we move on to 5. We have 2 left, so we make that our tens digit here. And since 24 is the highest multiple of 3 that's less than 25, we just get 8 here, which is times 3 is 24. We just do 24. And now we're on 3. And since 1 is left over, we make that our tens digit. We just do the same thing. So 12 is the highest multiple of 3. That's less than 13. So we write 12. Don't forget this. We get 16 now. And now we just do the same thing. So 15 is the highest multiple that's less than 16. We write 5 here. 15. And now we have 1, which is the remainder since you can't do anything with it. So the answer is 7,845, remainder 1. And I'm going to do the next problem as well. So I write this first, 72,451. You know what? I'll just start using text because my handwriting's too bad with my finger. So I'll just put this here. I'll create a text box up here. And I'm going to do this. So actually, wait, this is 9. Jesus, I'm just starting new text box. Oh, let me just try something else now. Let me just use drawing instead. 72,451 divided by 9. So we know that 7 is not divisible by 9. So what we do here is we move on to 2 and make 7 our tens digit. So we write 9 here. And since 72 is a multiple of 9, we just write 8 actually instead. Just do this. We write 8, not 9. 72, move on to 4. And since we can't do anything with 4, we write 0 here. 5, make 4 our tens digit. 45 is a multiple of 9. And that means that we just write 5 here and minus 45. Now we have 1. And since we're moved on to this one, and it's not a remainder of us just subtracting anything, we have to write 0 here. So, and this is our remainder now. So the answer is 8,050 R1. All right. Let me just move on to the next problem. So now we're multiplying with multiples of 10. This is pretty easy, and it's pretty similar to multiplying with a unit number, except you just add a 0 at the back. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to write a 0 here, since we have a 0 here. And now I just use 3. So 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 0 is 0, and 3 times 4 is 12. Answer is 12,090. So now we have estimating multiplication, and it's pretty useful in many different math problems, even in multiplication. All you need to do is round to the nearest digit to the right of the highest digit, and then we multiply. And this can get you a reasonable estimate. And estimates, you don't need estimates, but it's pretty useful if you want to check your work when you multiply two numbers. So first, I have these things, and I'm going to round this to 300. Just ignore this. In multiplication, you want to multiply it, you have to round it to the highest digit. Just you just have to multiply it to the you just have to round it to the highest digit. Okay, so I have 300 here, 293 rounded to the nearest hundred is 300, and 21 rounded to the nearest 10 is 20. So we're just doing 300 times 20 here. And the trick I know is you just do 3 times 2, which is 6. And since we have 3 extra zeros on the end here, we just add 3 zeros to 6. So now we get 6,000. So the estimate would be 6,000. If you want to check your work, you can do 293 times 21 and then see if that's close to 600. So multiplying with multiple digit numbers. So this can be pretty long and challenging. And what you have to do is to multiply using each digit one by one. So now I'm going to go back to my iPad. So I'm going to do 3 first. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 9 is 27. And we just add 2 here. And 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. 1779. So now we have to move on to 5, which is the next number here. And what we have to do is we have to move one digit to the right, since this is in the tens digit, which makes its value 10 times more of 3. So 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 here. 5 times 9 is 45, plus 1 is 46, plus 4. 5 times 5 is 25, which makes it 29. So we just add these and pretend this arrow here is a 0. So we add this and we get 9, 2 plus 1, 7 plus 6 is 13. And you add 1 to that, which makes it 14. Add 1. 9 plus 1 is 11. And that would be 3. So the answer is 31,429. So I have a couple of practice problems here. So the last one is pretty hard, so it's okay if you don't get that right, but the other 3 you should be able to do. Oh, and also, as you find the number to one problem, you should just send it to me so I know you did it. You don't have to send all of the problems at once. You just need to do one at a time. All right, so a lot of you did the first problem and the second one. So I'm going to do these two right now. So first I'm going to do 209 times 30. I'm going to write it like 209 times 30. We're not estimating here, so you don't have to round anything. So I'll just do 0 here, and then 3 times 9 is 7. 3 times 0 is 0. You just put 2 here because you have to add 2. And 3 times 2 is 6. So the answer is 6,270 for the first problem. And I'm going to do the second problem. So the second problem is 593 times 50. I write 0 here, and 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1. 5 times 9 is 45, plus 1 is 46. And 5 times 5 is 25, and add 4, you get 29. Answer for the second one is 29,650. And I'll just do the third problem now, since a lot of you got that. So third problem is 395 times 29. We're not estimating, so you don't round anything. First, we do 9. So 9 times 5, 45, plus 4. 9 times 9 is 81. You add 4 to that, you'll get 85. So we write 5 here, and you use the tens digit here. 9 times 3 is 27. Add 8 to that, you'll get 35. So 3555. All right, next, what we get is we use 2, so we just move one digit to the left. 2 times 5 is 10. Use 0 here, 1 here. 2 times 9 is 18. Add 1, that's 19. So 9, 1. And 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So we just get 790. Add this all together. Pretend this is a 0. 5 plus 0 is 5. 5 plus 0 is 5. 5 times 9 plus 9 is 14. 4, 1. And 3 plus 7 is 10 plus 1. 11,455. All right, I'll just do this. 11455. And now we do the last problem, which is pretty hard. So 471 times 203. So 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 7 is 21. 1, 2. 3 times 4 is 12. And I just write 14 here. Next, we have 0. We move 1 to the left. And since we just don't have anything there, we can write the entire thing zeros because we know it's going to be nothing. Next, we have 2. And since 2 is in the hundreds digits, we have to write 2, go 2 to the left. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 7 is 14. 4, 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So we just write it like this. 1413 plus 942. Hold on, wait. So the answer is just move this a bit to the right. 94200. And what you'll get is 31659. 95,615. All right. Next slide. Word problems. So word problems are similar to normal math problems, except you need to read the word problems and figure out what they want you to do. So when you're doing a word problem, make sure to read closely what the problem wants you to do. So since sometimes the problems could be weird and other times they could be trying to trick you. All right, so now I'm going to do the next slide. So example word problem. There are 255 balloons in a package. How many balloons are in a dozen packages? So we know dozen means 12. So that means there would be 12 packages. And since there are 255 balloons in a package, what this problem wants you to do is multiply 255 by 12. So I'm going to do this now. 255 times 12. If you don't stop drawing on the screen, I'm going to kick you. 255 times 12. So 2 times 5 is 10, 0, 1 here. And 2 times 5 is 10 again. And okay, I'm going to rewrite this. All right, 0, 1, 2 times 5 is 10, but we add 1, so it's 11. 1 here, plus 1. 2 times 2 is 4, and we add 1 to that. So we get 5. 510. Now we just do 1, and since it's just times 1, you don't have to multiply anything. You know it's going to be 255. So we just write that, and we have to move 1 digit to the left. So we add that, we get 0, 6, 0 plus 1. That would be 3060. All right. The class is going to end after we do these practice problems.
Bye.
No, you have to do the practice problems first. So I'll just let you guys do these practice problems and then we can end the class. Okay, since some of you are already done and class is going to end soon, I'll just do these now. So what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna do the first problem. So 2,275 in a week, how much does it make in 3 days? So actually you have to read this closely and you can see it saying in a week, which means in 7 days. A lot of you guys just multiplied it by 3, which is not right. You have to divide it by 3 first. You have to divide by 7 first. So I'll just do, it's not working anymore. I'll have to use my computer again. So 2,275 divided by 7, blah, 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 21, 3, 17, 2, 14, 35, 5. So that would be 325 watches per day. 325. And now we have to multiply that by 3 since it's asking for how much does it make in 3 days. So we just do this, 15, 7, and 9. Answer is 975 watches in 3 days. Okay, next we're going to do the second problem. So David bought 4 shirts and 3 ties, which means that first we have to do 253 times 4. So we just do this and we get this and this and this. So answer to 2,253 times 4 is 1,012, which means that he spent 1,012 on 4 shirts. And next we do 3 ties. So 78 times 3, we get 4, 2, and then 234. So the answer is 234 for all the ties. Now we add these together and we get 6,421. Answer is 1,246 for the second problem. All right, guys, so class is over for today. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.